What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I'm going to say a big shout out to all my supporters and even the ones behind the scenes. I see y'all too. So, hey, look, the world has been functioning and operating on the way that we choose to react to certain things. You got to really think about it on a different type of scale. Like, people oftentimes keep secret about certain things they go through in life because they don't want people to know how they react to them and how they really keep them down by choosing to operate in that certain way. Because once a person is understood to the way you choose to react to certain things, they are able to push that narrative of getting people to flow in that direction. It's complicated, but not really. Like, for me personally, there are certain things in my life that has really affected me. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, I felt as if in my life people were always trying to take away things that I love, or always trying to come in between the things that I loved and cared about, right? So once they get the scoop on you and do their intel by assessing certain things that you tell them, you feel me? Listen, again, there's nothing wrong with being honest, but again, you have to be wise in knowing that people will intentionally do those things again just to hope and get a certain reaction out of you. But know and realize that times have changed because of the simple fact that a lot of us on in this planet have went through a certain set of circumstances in our life to basically get us informed on how we would react or how we would handle ourselves in certain situations, to be able to put those same situations on a person by them maybe relaying to you a story or a situation they went in. You think that you got intel on that person, and you know, or come up with a story or a situation where you try to hurt that person by just basically off of what they told you. But when it backfires and you don't get the reaction that you hoped out of, you feel me, doing something intentionally to hurt that person, now is the time where the consequences and repercussions will now get put onto you. And now you will have a chance at understanding how it is not in your best interest to try to hurt someone behind their back, put them down, or speak negatively on them because of your own internal wounds, because of how you want to paint the picture of how you see yourself. You know what I'm saying? It is something that has been going on for so long, and now is the time where the tide of the water has shifted and changed. So you better get your life jacket and know how to swim, because if you don't, you will have to sit in that. You know what I'm saying? And it is based off of your reactions to how you choose to handle things. Now listen, I don't care if a person in your face shows you a different reaction to how they handle something. If it really hurts them or makes them feel a certain type of way, you'll start to be able to tell through how they act on a daily in life. If they start not taking care of themselves, they start, you know what I'm saying, being depressed all the time, they start lashing out in anger from you just saying something, that's when you'll get a real perception on how something that is happening in their life or has happened in their life is really causing them mental distress, no matter how they told you they reacted to it. When a person is really reacting to situations the way that they really truly are, you'll get to see it play out in who they are for real. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, when the two are unbalanced, it's really noticeable. Like, you can tell right off the back. When a person acts as if, oh, somebody did something to them and they know it hurt them for real, but they don't want to admit it, they gonna be like in your face, oh, that didn't hurt, or that didn't really affect me. But as you continue to pay attention to them and their patterns, you'll start to see that behavior of how they felt reflect out on their daily life. It's something that people have been missing and not being able to pay attention to, because we were so understood of the dynamic of not paying attention to the patterns when we got hurt, because we were led to believe that that is how you should naturally react to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I started to understand that you're not going to have me out here being quiet and secretive about who I am. You know what I'm saying? I can speak my truth because that is how I gain the wisdom and knowledge that I have. But you have to realize that people who are sent to attack you because they know what you're capable of will use your story to try to say something negative towards you by basically reflecting a story or speaking bad on a situation about what you told somebody just for wisdom and guidance and telling it in a negative light to someone else. They're not knowing that that secret conversation they're having over there is not going to have a reaction when you try to attack that person, because what's going to happen is they built up their resistance to it. And now you are going to have to understand your backfire of doing that to people. You know what I'm saying? By getting a clear understanding of breaking the illusion on your mind of who you paint yourself to be to these people out here when you really not like that for real. But I'm telling you right now, people that move in a certain way attach themselves to people that have good energy. So when they're detached because that person has caught on to who they truly are, what they're going to do is make that person seem as if they're a bad person and paint that way to everybody else so that no one comes close to them to figure out who they really are for real. That is how you keep the circle of certain type of manipulation going on. Is when everyone is on the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Listen, and it comes from people never being able to look at themselves. So what they do is when something doesn't go their way, and because they don't never want to look at what they do, they automatically paint that person in a bad light. So what happens is it confuses the minds of other people, have them thinking that that person is really in a bad light when really they're not. It's just that person was so hell-bent on making sure that they twisted the narrative up because they don't want anybody getting close to that person and realizing what a good person they really are. Listen, it's complex, but it's so real. And again, people that operate in a good energy and a good, selfless type of mentality doesn't mean they don't have their own triggers, doesn't mean they don't have their own faults, own things they went through. But when they go through something, they have the ability to self-absorb in their self instead of reflecting it onto others. And there are people that take their own triggers and maybe may not admit them or acknowledge them to others, but they do self-harm to themselves by maybe being depressed, by maybe indulging in substances. But when it comes to taking their pain and reflecting it onto other people, that is just not something that they do. And because of their ability to do that means when they do something, they have the ability to check themselves, to recenter their energy so that they don't project their negativity onto others and painting them in a bad light. Trust and believe, there's a lot of people in the world that don't know how to do that. So their narrative is, I know what I was dealing with. I know, you feel me, the person I may was with or the person I had involvement with. I know who they are for real. I know they're good people for real. But because they don't fit the narrative of what we got going on over here, I'm going to paint them in a negative light so that you never get close enough to them. And you feel me, have the ability to understand that there's something other than what's going on in this circle that we have. You know what I'm saying? I was never the type of person to ever put anybody down, to disrespect or talk anybody behind their back. If I say something to you, you feel me? I was just being honest on hoping to uplift you. But there are things that I know about a lot of people. Again, I've said it before, I could take people down if I wanted to. But I'm not that type of person because I don't see life like that. You feel me? We all out here just trying. And to be blessed is to understand that my pain and the things I went through didn't turn me into the type of person that wants to push people away from others. Now, again, people that operate in a way where their intentions are solely off of people's reactions, they will never be able to see their way of life and how they will get someone and convince someone to project onto them of how they did them wrong without ever looking at themselves until it is now time for the world to be in a 360 and people will start to wake up to who they are and realize everything that person is and what they talk about is in basically reflecting onto others so they never have to look at themselves. And then when that happens, they really have to do a self-introspection, because they're starting to realize people are waking up to the things that they do. Gossiping, talking about other people, putting other people down, is because really in reality they want to shift the energy away from themselves, from anybody ever truly looking at them, you know what I'm saying, for who they truly are, by connecting to someone that has good energy. So if I do certain things to them and they react certain ways, the people will never be able to look at me for who I truly am, but they'll look at that other person and they'll get all the blame, while I walk around here toting with my head up thinking I done did something. That has been going on for so long, and people were never understanding or realizing to waking up to the illusion that evil, nasty people were able to get away with that. Now listen to me. People that are evil and nasty due to their own trauma have a way to heal themselves. But then there are some people that don't care to heal. Their sole strength is on using, abusing, and gaining opportunities off of other people. They could destined to live their life like that. They signed an oath to live their life like that. Those are people that are not good people. And they will never, ever attach to someone that's doing bad so that that label can be on them. They're going to attach to people that they feel is doing better than them or in a better situation than them. So when they detach, they'll put all the blame on them to make it go away from them, until the tide has shifted now, baby boo. You know what I'm saying? People are going to finally wake up to who people truly are for real. And listen, oftentimes people got inklings or signs of clues or cues that'll let them be aware to how this person really is for real, but they chose to ignore it, because when that person felt like that person was thinking about them in a different way, they come in with something nice, whether it's some money, buy them an outfit, give them some offerings, some food or something like that. People, once they get tricked by that, they tend to forget about everything that that person showed them just a half an hour to a day ago. They are taught to dismiss patterns, you feel me, with things that they give. You know what I'm saying? So listen, let me tell you, listen, I don't wish bad on nobody, but I do, you feel me, feel a sense of relief for the people that are out there intentionally doing things wrong to people and banking on their reactions because of how they feel about who they are, that it switches up and they no longer have the ability to go around harming others because of how they feel about themselves. Now they have a chance to actually sit face first in their own shit. Excuse my language, and that shit stink, don't it? Now you get a chance to really actually look at the way you treat people and get an understanding of, you feel me, damn, I've really been acting like that this whole time. I would have never knew, because I felt as if, again, you get a sense of energy from doing things to people that were done to you, and you never look at yourself. I think that's the most hardest thing in this day and age, is for people to truly look at themselves, and that creates delusion, because people will really sit around not paying attention to people's patterns and really act like they ain't doing something. Really be in denial, not realizing people are watching you and you really are the opposite of what you speaking on. Listen, I'm telling you, it's a real state of delusion, and that shit's crazy. But again, you gotta just be mindful that your reactions to situations is powerful. When you are out there, you feel me, giving your testimony and you speaking on experiences that gave you the wisdom that you have, a lot of people are jealous because they don't tell their life story. What they do is they go out and get money and they dress up and look good on the outside, so they never have to tell you nothing, and you just get your own perception of what you think a person is. So they're low-key spiteful of people that are out here telling their testimony, facing their demons, and have light and favor that they don't. So again, they're gonna be jealous. They're going to sometimes take what you tell them and use ammo to unleash on you, to get a reaction out of you, to show to people, damn, they really wasn't like what they said they is. They really like how I told you they was. You know what I'm saying? So it's very pivotal and very mindful that you are aware of, you know what I'm saying, just how strong you are in reacting to certain things. It's not easy, but the more resistant you come to understanding how people react and do things, not out of betrayal, but out of the way they think that they're operating in life. They know it's betrayal to you. They know that you don't like those certain things, but they're doing it anyway to get a reaction so that they can still paint themselves in a certain light. And it's up to you to gain resistance in yourself. You feel me? I'm not going to shy away from who I am. I tell the truth. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be upfront about who I am and the experiences I went through. But just know, if you think you're going to take ammo from that and try to, you feel me, attack me, it's not going to work. You feel me? It's actually going to be a backfire on you. So if I were you, I would be careful on who you choose to do that to, because it ain't safe no more for people to keep going around doing that. So again, control your reactions. You feel me? Know who you are. That is of the essence. So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.